Buenos días amigos, el día de hoy nos encontramos con Robert Thiele. Él es vicepresidente de estrategia, alianzas y estrategias y socios para soluciones de TeamViewer y vamos a hablar con él de Fórmula 1. Así es que mi primera pregunta es, Robert, tú has trabajado con muchos softwares de asistencia remota a lo largo de tu vida. ¿Por qué crees que TeamViewer se ha posicionado como una de las más importantes en el mundo?
Yeah, so first of all, thanks for being on. Thanks for having me. Very excited. Always great to come to Mexico. And I love the Mexican Grand Prix here. And look, I think TeamViewer is very important because we profit from 4 different global trends. One is work is happening everywhere. Right now, we're on a laptop. People have mobile devices, oftentimes several, and tablets. So work is everywhere and needs to be supported. The second one is everything is connected. And I think that goes beyond what a lot of people think when they think about remote support. A lot of machines have IP addresses and they have operating systems. Agricultural machines have GPS systems, so you can optimize how you take care of your fields and of your crop. TeamViewer is actually installed on the ISS space station to operate the remote medicine equipment as well. So it's about a more connected world where we want to have access to data, devices, and have them participate in processes and interact with them. The third one is TeamViewer is very important because we also have new technologies like augmented reality and artificial intelligence. And now it's not only about connecting and support or sharing a screen, but it's also about how can we leverage those technologies to improve the process, to be smarter about how we work, and use technology to make that better, especially because a lot of people are retiring and leaving the workplace, and we need to be smarter and kind of better automated, etc. And the fourth one I want to mention is sustainability. You know, when we travel a lot, or we have additional truck rolls to deliver goods or to go to a machine and fix it, it's not good for the carbon footprint. And you know, that's obviously something that we want to reduce. And those 4 things combined, I think, make TeamViewer stand out, because we can cover everything from remote support, remote everywhere, to global connectivity, connecting to things.
Mercedes AMG Patronas es una de las escuderías más exitosas en la Fórmula 1. ¿Cómo ha sido trabajar con ellos, con TeamViewer?
Yeah, so working with Mercedes AMG Patronas F1 team is absolutely fantastic. They are really top-notch. They deliver performance, and they are constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible and how to get more success. If I go back a little bit, we actually partnered with Mercedes quite some time, and they were a customer of TeamViewer. And the original reason why they partnered with TeamViewer was because they have a very small team that's actually traveling to the different racetracks. And they have a big operation in Brackley, in their headquarters, where they develop the cars, but also that's where they have their control center during the races, where a lot of the data is being looked at. It almost looks a little bit like a NASA control center. And they wanted to be able to connect the engineers in Brackley to the team on the road. And they used TeamViewer to do that. That was how it all started. And then we discovered that we have so much more potential together, and we tapped into more use cases. So today, as an example, it's very important to have good aerodynamics on an F1 car. The underfloor and how the wind goes over the car. And development in the wind tunnel is very, very important. And they use TeamViewer also for the wind tunnel, so they can manage the wind tunnel and they can operate it 24/7 from anywhere. and also their QA testing. Sometimes the tests they do take 8 or 10 hours. So now they can go home, but they can remote into it every single time. If someone is experiencing an issue, they can actually see it and they can see what's going on in the machine or on the screen, and they can help fix it. So it's very, very important for them to keep the top performance that they have and develop it further to have these capabilities. And we also support the drivers. So you see Louis or Georg or George coming into the pits, and they have these screens during qualifying. And these screens are also powered by TeamViewer. So they have all kinds of different feeds of data. They have video feeds of themselves. They have data and video feeds from the competition, and they can look at different elements and see how they can optimize their run. And I also want to mention something else. We actually work with Mercedes F1 not only around the F1 team and their operations in Brackley and the development of the cars, but there's also another angle. We also support esports. So especially during COVID, people started to race virtually a lot, and a lot of professional drivers from the real racetracks also got engaged in esports and virtual racing, and it's a big thing now. And we also partner with Mercedes to control the rigs. So they have also sort of it's very professional. It's almost like an F1 operation. So they have also these engineers that take care of the rigs. And they used to do that with video calls, etc. But I was just talking about esports, which I find very exciting. It's a new market, it's a new thing, and so we support that. So instead of doing a video conference, they can now remote into the machines and take care of any issues in these gaming rigs without interrupting the player or the driver at all. So that's critically important.
Bueno, suena muy interesante. De hecho, ya hay películas y muchos trabajos sobre esto de los esports. Así es que suena increíble. Bueno, mi siguiente pregunta es la siguiente. Bueno, Esteban Gutiérrez es un corredor mexicano, es piloto reserva de la escudería de Mercedes. Y me gustaría saber qué opinas sobre él y sobre los corredores mexicanos de Fórmula 1.
So first of all, I'm very excited. He's actually coming in about an hour, and I met him before. He's an amazing person, and I find him very interesting for a number of reasons. So number one is, when you look at his career, he's done so many different things. He was in GP2, GP3. He was in Formula 1 with Sauber. He was test driver for Ferrari. He was with Haas. And then he also was in IndyCar racing. He was in Formula E. He did esports as well. And also he's now racing in IMSA and World Endurance Series. So he did actually very well at the Daytona 24 Hours. So he's still very, very active as a driver, and he's very versatile. You know, these prototypes are almost Formula cars with like a different chassis, but they're very, very sophisticated, and he does very well with them. But what I like about Esteban, he is a very well-rounded personality, and he's also a great businessman. So he has different business ventures that he's engaged in, and he's very interesting when you talk to Esteban about what he's doing in the business and how he can help companies. It's a different dimension of what he's doing, and I'm very excited that he's a brand ambassador for Mercedes F1, and he's doing a really good job in connecting with the public, with the audience, and explaining how these worlds work and how the brand works and where Mercedes is engaged. So very interesting person, and very, very excited to see him in quite a little bit.
Excellent. Mexican talent.
Mexican talent. And there were many others, right? So obviously we got Checo now, Pastor Maldonado, etc. So Mexico is doing well. And I hope we'll see more Mexican drivers also doing great and making it all the way to F1.
Excelente. Bueno, ahora sabemos que la tecnología muchas veces ayuda a las personas, pero hay otras veces que no es usada para lo correcto. Por ejemplo, esto estaba leyendo un poco que TeamViewer ha sido a veces utilizado para hacer algunos pues, delitos cibernéticos. ¿Qué opinas de esto o están conscientes de esta situación?
To say about it,
Yeah,
if you're aware of that.
Obviously technology is supposed to be used in a certain way and with certain best practices. As an example, that actually happened in the past, you're not supposed to use the same password and share the password with 50 people in the company. They leave the company, and then suddenly someone has access to information that they're not supposed to have. That is something that we can circumvent and prevent from happening with TeamViewer technology. So we have single sign-on into company systems. So if someone leaves the company, they don't have access anymore. And also something we call conditional access, where we can see exactly from where someone is accessing, and we can cut that down and say they can only come from these IP addresses or this region at these times, access certain information only, and really push those policies into the system. So with those best practices, you can't kind of work around these things and do things that are not good for the company and so on.
Okay, perfecto. Y bueno, la última pregunta para terminar. Aquí está. Bueno, sabemos que TeamViewer se renueva constantemente, ya que siempre ofrece algo nuevo, tiene nuevas características. ¿Ya tienen pensado algo nuevo para el próximo año, el 2024?
Next year, 2024.
Well, you're absolutely right. So we are constantly innovating. We are a highly profitable company, which means we can invest in our own innovation, which is very, very important in this market. In fact, we just released a new version of our flagship product for enterprises called Tensor, with even better scalability, security, better UI. So it's more intuitive to use. But we are sort of going forward. We're continuing to invest in that. We continue to invest in augmented reality, which is very important. And I want to point out two areas where we put a lot of focus also in 24. One is we work very heavily and very closely with strategic partners, and we want to make sure our software is integrated with other applications and with the process. It's not just standalone, but it provides better value. And we work with top-notch global companies today to achieve that. And it's very unique. It's something that I think only TeamViewer does at that level in our market. The second part where we invest is artificial intelligence. We already use it in certain parts of our software. For example, on the augmented reality side, if someone is fixing something, a machine, we can ask them to show their hands, and we can recognize if they work with the right gloves to perform the work. And we can tell them, oh, you have to put those on first before you do this, otherwise it's not safe. So it's very vision-oriented AI, also counting packages in a warehouse. But what we're doing is we're really taking that, and we're taking that into support processes where you can now with AI analyze what are the types of issues that are occurring. Did it occur before? How can it be solved? And ideally even automated in terms of the fix. So those are the two things: partnerships and AI are the big ones.
Okay, bueno, thank you very much. Nice to meet you, Robert. It was a great talk, even with the fails of the internet, but everything was okay.
Yeah, I apologize.
No, don't worry.
You got all the answers that you wanted, and thank you very much for your time.
Exactly, thank you, and muchas gracias a los demás, a todo el equipo, y tengan un excelente día. Have a nice day.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias. Hasta luego.